Philistine men came to Samson and said, I know the answer to your riddle. And so Samson knew that they had threatened his wife to get that answer, the answer being the lion and the honey. And so what did Samson have to give these men? 30 change of clothes, or 30 robes, or overcloaks, sheets, wraps. And so how would Samson get these 30 change of clothes and robes? No, not quite. Yeah, he did kill the lion, but now since he owes these 30 clothes, how is he going to make this payment? What did Samson do? No, he had nothing to do with the fox just yet. So he went out and he slaughtered 30 men. He killed 30 men, took their clothes, left them there naked, took their clothes, delivered these clothes with blood on them, and left in a fit of rage. He went back to his parents' home. Then later, after he calmed down, he cooled off, he decided to go and retrieve his wife. They were already married, they had a ceremony. And the reason for him going to get his wife is because he was getting ready for his honeymoon. He was ready for his honeymoon to go off and to do what married people do. And so he reaches their household. He says, I'm here for my wife. And who answers the door and says, sorry? His father says, sorry, she's married to another man. What? She's already married to another man? No, we thought you took off, Samson. You married her to another man. And this was one of Samson's so-called friends or acquaintances. And so Samson is angered again. What's he do at this point? No, he doesn't. It wasn't considered an affair. They didn't know about it. But now what's he do with these foxes? How many foxes did he drive? Yeah, 300 foxes he caught. And then what did he do? He tied the tails together. Lit them on fire. I have a picture of it. They burned down all the crops. Yeah, I thought you were voicing for me. I thought, well, you can't interpret. You have a sore throat. You can only laugh. Okay. So Samson tied 300 of these foxes together. So there's 150 pairs of these foxes. And set their fields and crops to fire. And these Philistines knew it was Samson. So what did they do in return? They killed the woman, his wife, and her father, and burned their house down. The Philistines killed their own people? I mean, this was a result of Samson's decisions. Because of him setting the fox, setting their tails on fire, setting the fields on fire and all their crops. So the Philistines were upset and killed the woman and her father. And now, once that was over, what did Samson do? He was angered again. He said, "You killed this woman and her father, and he slaughtered a multitude of the Philistines." The phrase here is, he smote them hip and thigh with a great slaughter. After this, he went down and dwelt in a cave in the top of the rock Tom. It's in a cave, pretty much. Yeah, this is the name of this cave, Tom. And so he became isolated. He was living alone. He became a hermit, pretty much. He was done with the world. And so that is the story of Samson. No? Are we not done? Is there more? Oh, there's more to the story? Okay, all right, we'll see. We'll see what happens next. Yeah, he lived at the top of the rock. Yeah, there might have been a cave there, or he might have been in a tent or whatever, but the point is that he was isolated from civilization. He wasn't living in a village or with his family any longer. And so starting off in verse 9, we see, we know that Samson's alone. And while he's living as a hermit in isolation, then the Philistines went up and pitched in Judah and spread themselves in Lehi. So it's and we can recall that the Philistines were putting pressure they wanted to take back this land of Canaan from Israel. And so, now, especially now that they knew that Samson was at the top of this rock and living as a hermit. And so every time we see this phrase, pitched, is it like a baseball pitch, right? It's like a baseball pitch, right? That's where baseball was started, right there. Verse 9 of chapter 15 of Judges. No, what does this mean, pitched, in this phrase? Yeah, it's like pitching a tent. It's like the tents. And so why would they have pitched their tents in Judah? They weren't home, no. They weren't on a camping trip. They weren't nomads either. These were war tents. That's correct, though. They were going to war. And their goal was for Philistines to take more territory for their own. And they were ready to go to war. We see they were pitched in Judah and they spread themselves in Lehi. Continuing in verse 10, and the men of Judah said, why are ye come up against us? They answered, we want, who do you think they're looking for? Samson. To bind Samson, and are we come up? To do him as he hath done to us. They're going back and forth here. And so the Philistines want to take Samson captive. And so these men of Judah say, hang on just a minute. And 3,000 men of Judah went to the top of the rock. And these are Jewish men. These are from the tribe of Judah. These are Hebrews. They went to the top of the rock of Tom and said to Samson, knowest thou not that the Philistines are rulers over us? They're trying to take over us. What is this that thou hast done unto us? And he said unto them, as they did unto me, and so I have done unto them. So is this true? Has Samson just taken revenge or done the same? No, it's not the case. He's killed much more. He's done much more worse to them than they did to him initially. He's killed many men and destroyed their crops. And they said unto him, we are come down to bind thee, that we may deliver thee into the hand of the Philistines. So hang on just a minute. This is my imagination here. This is what I perceive it might have looked like. 3,000 Hebrew men come up to Samson and they say, we plan to bind you. Come with us, all right? We're going to take you and deliver you to the Philistines. I can imagine Samson just chuckling to himself and smirking to himself because Samson knew. And so he said unto them, swear unto me that you 3,000 men, that you guys will not fight me. You guys will not fall upon me yourselves. You're only here to deliver me into their hand. And so Judah, the men of Judah, they spake unto him, saying, no, but we will bind thee fast and deliver thee into their hand, to the Philistines. So Samson, smirking to himself, he says, okay. And they bound him with 2 new cords and brought him up from the rock. I can just imagine, with the size and strength of Samson, what it would have taken. And these weren't just rope that they were binding him with. We see this word cords. What does this word mean? It means 3 ropes bound together, braided together, twisted together to be stronger. And it took 2 of them to bind Samson up. And this is 3,000 men. I mean, this is a lot of people. This is a crowd of people for one guy. And when he came unto Lehi, the Philistines shouted against him. And immediately, what happened? And the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him. What's this mean? The Holy Spirit's power came upon him. And the cords that were upon his arms became as flax, like leaves, just like fiber, just light fiber that was burnt with fire. And his bands loosed from his hands, and he found a new jawbone of a donkey. Have you seen a donkey before? Who's seen a donkey before? What's his mouth look like? Oh, he's got a long jaw. So he picks up this bone that might look like a hammer. It might look like a hammer or a machete. And put forth his hand and took it, and he slew 1,000 men therewith, with this jawbone of an ass. These are the Philistines. 1,000 men, one man, Samson. Some of you might be thinking, this is made up. I mean, is this a true story? This is hard to believe. 1,000 men? Do you believe that? I do. The Bible says it, so I believe it. 1,000 men were slaughtered with the jawbone of a donkey. And Samson said, I'm just imagining how Samson was slaughtering these men with the jawbone of an ass, heaps upon heaps. With the jaw of an ass have I slain 1,000 men. 1,000 times or more. One. Maybe he got 5 in one swoop. We don't know how tall Samson is. It doesn't. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say he was a giant either. We just know that he was strong. We don't know how strong. But yeah, heaps upon heaps. And there's a ton of bodies. Bodies upon bodies. Dead bodies. With the jawbone of a donkey. Hold up here. I have a question. It just popped into my head. Samson, he's not supposed to touch the dead or dead animals. But he's touched the bone of a donkey. Huh. But still God is with him? It says, I say yes. We see here, and the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon them. So even though Samson has broken his vow multiple times, God is still with him. So far we see that. Yeah, Samson is a Hebrew, yeah. Yeah, he's from the tribe of Dan. What verse are you talking about? Verse 18? Oh, have I got to 18 yet? Look, I'm still on 16. I haven't got to 18 yet, okay? Wait till I read it, then you can ask me, all right? Are you ready? Are you ready? Here it comes. And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking, that he cast away the jawbone out of his hand, and called that place Ramah Talai. I forgot what that means. Let me take a look. It's called the height of jawbone or jawbone. That's cool. It's a mountain of bodies. And he was sore athirst and called on the Lord and said, Thou hast given this great deliverance into the hand of thy servant. And now shall I die for thirst and fall into the hand of the uncircumcised? Which means that I've killed, Samson saying, I've killed 1,000 men. And I'm thirsty and I'm going to weep and I'm becoming weak. Who is going to capture me? The Philistines are going to come and get me. And the Philistines are this uncircumcised that are being referenced here. He's calling out to the Lord saying, I need help. But God clave an hollow place that was in the jaw, and there came water thereout. And when he had drunk, that jawbone, God created a spring, like water had sprung in this jaw. And his spirit came again, and he revived. Wherefore he called the name thereof Enachor. which means the spring of the one who cried out, which is in Lehi unto this day. And he judged Israel in the days of the Philistines 20 years. Now, most of the time we don't think Samson as we don't see a story, we think of it as a gap in between Samson's story. But no, there's a 20 years of peace here between the end of Samson's life and the next big event of his story that we'll see in chapter 16. I have a little bit of time, so we'll try to get through this part of the story. I love this story. So it started in chapter 16. So I want you all to remember that Samson is who is he? Who's Samson? He's a Nazarite. He's a Jewish man. What else? He's a strong man. What else? Yeah, he follows the laws of the Nazarite. God chose him as a judge. So now we'll see what happens next. Then Samson went to Gaza and saw there an harlot, a prostitute, and went in unto her, which means I've seen that sign recently. It's like sex. That sign, I've just seen that sign recently. I thought it was like make out, but no, it's like hook up. It's like having sex, yeah. Like a one-night stand, yeah. I learned a new sign. It's a new slang. I'm not sure if I want to use that vocabulary or add that to mine, but I'll accept that. So this is not really a hookup. He's paid for this. He's paid money for this. I mean, she's a prostitute. She's a harlot. But he slept with her. And it was told the Gazites, saying, Samson is come hither. And so these men of the Gazites, they compassed him in and laid wait for him all night in the gate of the city, and were quiet all the night, saying, in the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him. But hang on for 1 second. Let's take a look at this gate of the city. Do you remember what this means? Yeah, it's typically not like a fortress or a fort or a gate with a chain or anything like that. It's a place of business. Just like you mentioned, Tim. It's like a place of business. And typically, there is an actual gate. Sometimes it's big and sometimes it's just a small gate, but this is a place of where it's known that this is where the city starts. And so, like when we're driving down Metcalf on, like if you're coming south on Metcalf and you see these big stone structures and it says, welcome to Overland Park. Have you seen that before? Like, it's like right around Chick-fil-A, and you're coming, like right by Shawnee Mission Parkway, you'll see like a big stone sign that says welcome to Overland Park. That's what you could call like the gate of the city. But back then, It's where people would gather to conduct business. But so they were waiting there at this square, at this gate of the city, for Samson for the next morning to capture him and kill him. Not to capture him, but to kill him. And Samson lay till midnight, and arose at midnight, seeing all these people sleeping around by the gate. He couldn't open the gate. I don't know, maybe he could get captured. He picks up the doors of the gate of the city and the two posts, and went away with them, bar and all. Put them upon his shoulders, and carried them up to the top of a hill. Maybe about 20 miles, he walked with his gate of the city on his shoulder. That is before he would Hebron. So the next day, these Gazites are waking up to the rooster, the sun waking up at dawn. They look around and, hey, wake up, they're saying to each other. I can just imagine. Where's the gate? They're looking all around for this gate. 20 miles away, they find their gate. I can only imagine. I can't imagine. Yeah, he picked it up and dropped it 20 miles away. But after that, here comes the third part of this story. Might be the best part or the worst part of the story. I don't know. It's up to you to decide. But might have 2 more weeks for this story of Samson. I really like this story of Samson, but we see that Samson has some serious character flaws. Oh, I haven't seen that part. Maybe I need to study more. I don't know. I don't know about that, Marianne. But Samson repeatedly, it's interesting to me. There's a few things. What is Samson interested in? Protecting himself, yeah, sure. A normal life? No, I wouldn't say that. He's lonely, yeah, so what is he interested in? He wants a woman. He wants to love a woman, yeah. What else does he want? He seems to enjoy his power. We see his desire to demonstrate and show his strength and power, but he doesn't want to hurt his own people. That's what I see when the 3,000 men from the tribe of Judah come to me. He says, I don't want, you guys aren't intending to kill me, right? Because he doesn't want to hurt them. But as soon as he reaches the Philistines, he's willing to slaughter them. But yes, so he does want to protect his own people in Israel, but he breaks his vow several times so far, and seemingly without a care. He doesn't seem to feel any conviction or guilt. We don't see him pleading to God with sorrow, or does he feel any remorse, or there's no confession of his mistakes. He's just a loose cannon, and he goes off and he kills the Philistines. I encourage you all, because I've heard a story just recently, just this week. There was a group of Christians with a person who was not a Christian. He was a worldly person, even, but wanted to get involved with this group. And so one of these Christian guys says, "Oh, look at what you're wearing, look at your clothes," and starts going off on him. And this worldly person goes, "What? Like, I can't believe he's," he took off in a rage and left upset because of this Christian telling him how he was supposed to dress. I heard this story and it saddened me. Why would that sadden me? That person might be lost forever now. Because you got angry, accused him of sinning over his dress. Yeah, but how do you show love in that manner? You respond with scolding him and berating him about his dress. Is that the right approach? He left upset. There's so many better ways to show love. And I see that with Samson. If someone's against him, he doesn't care. He takes it to the extreme. He goes to slaughter. Maybe God did use him. It does say several times in this story that the Spirit of God is on him, so it's hard to debate this, but I just see no feelings of honor or humility to the Lord with Samson. And that makes me sad for Samson. And we're not finished with this story. We still have more to go. We probably we'll see some more pride in Samson's life there. What did you say? Samson is unique, yeah. In the way that God used him. He is unique, yeah. But at the same time, I'm expecting a person who's chosen by God to be humble, to use their strength in the right way, to use it with humility. God's giving me this power. Yes, I will have to fight and kill with God's power, but then have this humility with God instead of it becoming all about me or all about Samson. And so that's what my concern is that we become too self-absorbed and not focused on God. So Samson, he went to pick up this gate and dropped it off on this hill. There was no men or people who opposed him or stopped him. Maybe if you work out enough, you could, you might be able to lift the door of the church and rip the door off its hinges. Join. So I remember you mentioned about this group of Christians and berating, and this one member berating this lost man about his dress. He should have been. That's not the gospel, He should have been trying to teach him the gospel, And yeah, it is sad, What if he becomes lost, and he doesn't, he feels turned off by Christianity. It's hard. It was hard. Did we have any other questions? Yeah, Kim? So Samson killed 1,000 men in one day? Yeah, it does seem like Samson killed 1,000 Philistines with this donkey's jawbone. It might have taken all the long day. It might have taken a whole 8-hour shift. I don't know how long, but yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what the slaughter would have looked like. Do you have any other comments? Reminds me of that movie 300. Yeah, the Spartans, the Greek Spartans. It's a little bit different, but yeah. Noreen. So the 1,000 Philistines was there, even though they destroyed 1,000 Philistines, were there more? I mean, I don't know, maybe 100,000. Yeah, they still had a lot of men and members of the Philistine nation. I mean, God was still with Samson even through all of his atrocities. And yeah, he was. And you will see where God's had enough with Samson. Where God, he's hung out and hung on to Samson, but then decides he's had enough. I mean, I don't want to play that, but I mean, how far can we go against God? And when I grew up, my dad taught me about this idea. And there's another story, but let's imagine a boundary line. And then another line here. This is sin. This is not sin. My father taught me how close to the line do you want to be. Do you want to be right here? If you're here, just right balancing right on the edge, it's very easy to fall and tumble into sin. I mean, what's the better way? Be way over here. Stay far away from this line of sin. And for me, this represents the story of Samson. He's right here, playing on the line. We'll see what happens. Will Samson stay far away from sin? Well, we'll see. But yeah, it is weird. It's strange. I mean, it's a broken mess. I mean, there's a lot of different kinds of people that God uses. Okay. So how can God still bless him even though he's still prideful and got this list of character defects? So yeah, let me give you something to think about, chew on. So to answer your question, I'm going to answer it with a question. All right? Is that all right with you? So I'm not a political person. All right? I just want to make sure this is clear. I'm not a political person. This discussion has nothing to do with politics. It's not a political statement, but I want you to think. I'm just going to ask you all, whether you want to answer yes, just keep it in your head. Don't answer. Just keep it in your head. Whether it's a strong yes or a no. Is President Trump a spiritual person? I mean, is he a strong Christian person? Don't answer. But just think to yourself, now, can God use him to accomplish things for his glory, whether or not he is spiritual or not? Can he still use him? So my answer to that question is yes. Whether or not he's spiritual or not, that's not my place to judge. It's not a political statement. Secret Service, don't come for me, okay? I'm making that clear. But my answer for you is that God is more interested in Israel than in Samson's weaknesses. Does Samson have weaknesses? Yes, absolutely. Does God allow Samson, for Israel's sake, to stay alive, to still go through this chaos and mess and brokenness until he's not needed anymore? Yeah. I mean, this is similar to David. David is a little different, but David is a man after God's own heart. David follows and chases God faithfully. Yes, he falls and he failed and he sins, he stumbles, but he always comes to God, he confesses his sin, he repents. But yes, God can still use anybody's mind. Does that answer your question? So God can do anything? He can use anyone no matter what? Yeah, I mean, God can do whatever he wants. I mean, sometimes we look at the scripture, I mean, we might think, oh, I wouldn't do that. But we're not God. How can we do that? How can we criticize him? Yeah, God still has mercy on Israel and on other people. And so I've seen that today. I mean, with Jimmy Swaggart died. I don't know if you saw that. But yesterday, the day before. But let's close with a prayer. Father in heaven, thank you for your blessings, Lord. Help us to remember and to not be proud, not to respond with pride, with a cold heart, with hatred, with carelessness. Help us have a tender heart and a soft heart for you, Lord. Bless us as we go home this evening. In Jesus' name we pray.